So France, the late 1700s. The king and queen are not liked by their subjects because they keep spending money during financial problems, economic crises, and food shortages. And the queen, Marie Antoinette, is specifically known for spending heavily on fashion, luxuries, and gambling. Then one day in 1791, this group of guys called the Legislative Assembly are like, hey, let's become a constitutional monarchy so maybe the king stops being so useless. But then 1 year later, they're like, well, that didn't work. Let's just abolish the monarchy. In Versailles, Louis XVI and Marie Antoinette are like, oh my god, they're gonna come and mess us up. So they get in a carriage and try to bust it out of France, dressed as commoners. But they're partway through their escape, get caught, and everyone's like, man, you're the king and queen. You're literally in a golden carriage. What are you trying to pull? So they get sent back to Paris, leading to their imprisonment.
King Louis is tried for high treason and crimes against the state. He is then sentenced to death. Before King Louis was executed, he tried making this big speech and said something around the lines of, I pardon those who are the cause of my death or whatever, even though I'm totally innocent, and then prayed that his blood would not fall back on France. He wants to say more, but a National Guard was like, shut up, dude, oh my gosh, and ordered a drum roll, so the king had to stop talking. But then, yes, he gets his head chopped off and gets buried at some church.
And they're all sitting in the courtroom, and they're like, we accuse Marie Antoinette of sending treasury money to Austria, being a super bad queen, and incest and molestation, which is a charge made by her son Louis Charles, and even though it didn't happen, we forced him to say it during his imprisonment. And when they read this charge out loud, Marie Antoinette gets super upset and is like, I appeal to every mother in this room. But regardless, Marie Antoinette is sentenced to death. She is executed 9 months after her husband. Her last words are, pardon me, sir, I did not do it on purpose, after stepping on her executioner's shoe. Then the matter of the monarchy gets kind of messy. With the matter of Louis XVI and Marie Antoinette's children, they'd adopted many children, but they had 2 biological ones, Louis Charles and Marie Therese. Louis Charles became Louis XVII of France in technicality only after his father died. But he was imprisoned even after the deaths of his parents, and he died in prison, possibly of tuberculosis following his harsh treatment. His death ended the Bourbon line. His death marks the end of the last Dauphin of France. After the deaths of Louis XVI and Marie Antoinette, technically there was still a royal line who the throne would have gone to, but for the most part they lived in exile. And then Napoleon happened, and who was kind of the final head leader of France and became the emperor. But nowadays, France is a republic, and there's no current royal family recognized by the French state. Still, there are thousands of French citizens who have titles like duke, etc., and can trace their lineage back to the French royal family and nobility, but they don't have any real power.